Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Growth Switch with me, Cyril Madiba. This being episode 22. Remember, if you've missed out on any of the other episodes, you can go to our YouTube channel and our social media pages on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and you can find the valuable insights there. Remember, these are practical insights to help you with your growth on your academic, career, and personal development. We've also launched one-on-one sessions in September, and you can find out more about those by reaching out to us on the Growth Switch at cyrilmadiba.com. We are already assisting a number of students and young professionals with their development as they take their next steps in their academics and their careers. In this episode, we'll be chatting about defining your core values, right? Very important topic, particularly in terms of your whole life and how you structure it. So it's quite an important topic, this one. So the values that remain core to you being, you basically use that in terms of how you navigate your life on an everyday basis, be it in a personal aspect and from a work or business aspect. So if you look at like the values, values are ideals that each person lives by. It's what they hold, true to heart, what they feel strongly about. It's also values which an organization actually defines as a way of how they go about doing things. So if you think of like some typical values, that a human being might say, human being might value, respecting others. They might value giving back to society or uplifting society. They might value being an honest and trustworthy person in society. Even organizations might value being honest and trustworthy to all stakeholders, including customers, shareholders, and so on and so forth. So the values really are the ideals that each person or organization lives by. And these are important, like I said, because they are a cornerstone in terms of all aspects of your life, right? So how you've defined your values will have an impact on, say, which organization you work for. So if you say there's an organization and you hear a scandal about them, and you value an honest and trustworthy and transparent organization, or those are your values personally, then you might not necessarily want to work for that organization because that will clash with your values. You might also consider, your friendships. If you value respect, and you've seen someone who's quite rude and abrupt and doesn't really see another person as a human, they just see them as a doormat to walk over. So you might not necessarily be drawn to form a friendship with that person because of how they are. You might even look at in terms of when you choose your partner in life, like a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you're mostly drawn to people who are actually in line with your values. So you can see with all these examples, that's pretty much almost all your life that I've touched on here. So it's very critical how you define these values for yourself, and then because that has an impact on everything else that you do, really. And as part of that process, you must be sure to understand which of those values are non-negotiable. So let me elaborate there. So in our value system, we have some values which we are willing to tolerate, and then there's others which we know if we really try and tolerate this, we'll end up frustrating ourselves down the line. So in my example, where where there's this friend who is very rude, and then you think to yourself, you know what, let me actually, give him a chance, see where this goes. Maybe he might change, you know. But then down the line, you realize, this person hasn't changed. This is who they are, Then you start getting frustrated because each time you have an engagement with them, you walk away upset because they are so rude, Because, but in the beginning, if you had just, seen that value of respect as being a non-negotiable for you, you wouldn't have gone there in the first place. So it's important to have the values which are non-negotiable for basically each of us. Then there are those where you are willing to tolerate them, so you might be a person who doesn't drink alcohol, and you're saying, you know what, if I'm gonna form a friendship, I'd rather be with another person who does not drink alcohol, but then you'll find that you find someone who ticks boxes for all your other values, and the only difference is they drink alcohol, and then you have to make a decision. Like, oh, okay, maybe I might be willing to basically tolerate this one because they tick all other boxes which are important for me. So it depends for you. Remember, you must have negotiable values and non-negotiables. If you try and tolerate people on your non-negotiables, you will end up being frustrated down the line. Remember, it's not just people as well, it's also organizations. If an organization that clearly clashes with your values, let's say you are one of the things that you value is climate change, making sure that we're a green society, everything that we do is aimed at such that it has a positive impact on the environment, and the climate. But then you end up working for an organization which all they do is pollute air pollution even, and they're basically adding to the problem of climate change. And then you're going to have a clash of values, but you knew this moment you came in that this is what they do. So make sure that your non-negotiables and negotiables are understood from the onset. Okay. Now, like I just said, now you'll have instances where you have a clash of values, right? And it's about how you deal with those in terms of your conflict resolution process. If it's a friend, you sit them down, you understand what's going on. Is this something that can be changed, or is this now the permanent state of affairs? If it's a permanent state of affairs, are you willing to accept this? Is it one of those negotiable values, or is it one of those non-negotiable values? So you go through that thought process for you. Even from an organization perspective, organizations get new leadership, and then with new leadership can come a new strategy. A new strategy may in fact clash with your values. Then what do you do then, right? So it's about how you deal with that from a conflict resolution perspective, right? It's very important. You won't always have an alignment in terms of your values and another person, or alignment in your values between yourself and another organization. So there's bound to be a clash, and you need to learn that clash. You need to follow your conflict resolution processes to resolve it, right? So then, as a parting shot in this conversation on defining your core values, is a question of, what are your values? Have you defined your values? Do you know which ones are negotiable and non-negotiable, right? And have you structured your life, according to that, So yeah, I'll leave you with that, food for thought. And remember, if you found any of this useful, please share it with those who stand to benefit the most. Remember to follow us on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We also have our YouTube channel. And the one-on-one sessions, we've launched them. We've got young people who are already being assisted as part of our one-on-one program. If you're interested in either learning more information or being part of it, remember to contact us on the Growth Switch at cyrilmatiba.com, and we'll be sure to respond with information on next steps. And let's grow together.